Hello and welcome to our first day of political news bullshit from last week. Because we can never be punctual in our timing. I'm the Phantom One.
Call me Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, whatever you say, dirty asshole.
Hey.
Yeah, you gotta be a prick. Anyways, first article we can talk about here, Monday, the 27th, no, 28th.
What?
Good job. Can't read a calendar, can I?
It's the 26th.
That's today. When this is going to launch, it's going to be 28th.
Okay, 28th.
Haha.
Alright.
Look at that. I can't read a calendar, but I can read a calendar better than you.
Well, it's hard to read calendars with a big freaking microphone arm deflecting.
You should just learn how to see through things.
You know what? I should be one of those superheroes.
Excuse me, you're oppressing me. I identify as a trans black man, and your race has culturally oppressed me for thousands of years. Either way, we're going to start with a Breitbart article about Bank of America. When Bank of America asked Twitter to delete a journalist's tweet, and Twitter agreed.
Really?
Yep. So this is pretty basic, actually. So Edwards, who's the journalist in question, Jim Edwards, as it lists, not there, not in the entire, well, it does list the entire article, but right there, has been an editor of business. Fucking hell, English is not my first language, apparently, even though it is.
Jim Edwards is the founding editor of Business Insider UK.
Yep.
And he was forced to delete a tweet after Bank of America claimed he violated their copyright.
So this is a pretty classic thing that people have been doing, like companies have been getting the hang of recently, which is false DMCA claims. So DMCA is Digital Millennia Copyright Act. So it's a way in which copyrighted material can be taken off the internet because it's copyrighted and the copyright holder doesn't want it to be removed.
Yeah.
So in this case, Edwards was posting a picture about the Bank of America analyst Teo Lacerte's notes to clients along with humorous Twitter message suggesting he had developed a pun-based method for analyzing auto stocks. Pretty much not really a problem. I mean, and as far as the actual possibility of copyright goes, not really that much. Literally, it's just a picture of some dude who works for a company and then some stocks that he and his team worked on. Which, I mean, in that case, the actual dude, Leo Lasarte, is holding more copyright responsibility than Bank of America is. And that's how we know it's false. Because it's petty bullshit, basically.
So, I have to wonder, Edwards was he's press. Doesn't he have certain...
You should have certain rights. Yeah, well, everybody should have certain rights. This definitely falls under fair use. Because, I mean... Obviously, Teo Lacerte is not actually making pun-based analysis, right?
Okay.
So this is a transfer of work, making the meaning of the original work, even if like this is an image that's copyrighted by someone. This is changing the meaning of the original work into a different meaning, and I think it's a substantiated. Just wow, I tried to use a big word, didn't work out there. It's a substantial enough change to merit fair use, right? Even if it is someone else's photograph. Regardless of the fact that it's just an asshole move either way, because a lot of pictures are used a lot on the internet for whatever reason.
So it was not his photograph that he published?
I don't believe it was, but at the same time, it really shouldn't matter. And I highly doubt Bank of America would have creative copyright over the picture.
See, what I have to wonder now, I don't know a lot about the DMCA, but is it translated very literally as most legal terms are? I mean, it is their picture. If it's their picture, then they have legal grounds. But if it's translated in such a literal
yes
form,
and no. So copyright offers users, like the actual copyright holders, a extremely large amount of rights.
Yeah.
But the only, and this is specific wording. Fair use is an exception to the law.
Okay.
It's not another law, it's an exception to it. So as long as your piece qualifies under the fair use principles of changing the meaning, and like critics, like criticism is one of the most highly critics and parody are the most highly protected that fall under fair use. So this is probably parody because it's pun based. He's making a joke. And really, I mean, that's the most important part. Is fair use is an exception, not an addition to.
Oh.
So as far as the legalese goes, there, the company has to prove that this was not a substantial enough change in court.
Okay.
That because if something's arguing under fair use because it's an exception, most of actual copyright law does not apply.
What we're also forgetting is that Twitter, as a company, is not has its own policies, it has its own rules, and it has its own power over what's being posted. Therefore, it's not bound to the rights of Americans.
Except for the fact it's founded in California. It's headquartered in California as well. So it, as a company, has to regard by state and federal law of the country it flies in. So if California has laws that federal laws don't, because its headquarters in California, it has to follow those laws. But because it's also headquartered in the United States, it has to follow United States law. Now, YouTube is a good way to explain how copyright works with companies.
Yeah.
Is for the company, they have their own ways of dealing with copyright because the company is an intermediary between the copyright holder and the person who is being accused.
Okay.
Right? So YouTube had a big problem when they dealt with Famicom, who owns Nickelodeon. Because a bunch of little kids were uploading SpongeBob shit, and Famicom didn't like that, so Famicom sued YouTube instead of asking for the copyright material to be taken down. And that's why YouTube now has an automatic copyright system, because they get so much overload that people can't actually handle it. Mm-hmm. And that system has been abused.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why people have kind of a hard on for this, and that's why this is actually poignant. Is because Twitter is starting to take that path too, of just not taking the risk and not actually trying to look through the material and see if it's worth.
Well, there's a lot of material to look through.
Well, the thing is you don't have to look through all the material, right? Because all you have to look through is videos the copyright holder claims is their property. So literally, the copyright holder, all they have to do is send a link to Twitter and go like, "I think this is our copyrighted material. Can you please take it down?" And then that's the problem too, because Twitter or YouTube has the legal right to actually say no, this isn't, because that has to be fought in court.
Yeah.
But at the same time, YouTube nowadays is offering legal support to certain YouTubers who are being abused by their DMCA system.
Oh, really?
So YouTube, who's been spending years and millions of dollars trying to avoid being the arbiter, is decided they're actually going to start becoming the arbiter, because that's the only way there can be a fair system between the two.
Yeah.
Because the corporations right now have far too much power. The power balance is off, and so now the corporations can silence anyone who they don't think is appropriate to their needs.
Yeah, to their goals, to their direction. If it affects them in any negative way, they can shoot them down.
Well, what do you think about this, frankly? I know you don't use Twitter too much.
Well, I actually don't have a Twitter account.
I just said that.
Yeah, well, by not too much, I mean I don't have a Twitter account.
Well, I mean, you've watched me use it today, so there's quantitative use.
Well, in my experience in social media, it's a very thin line of what you have the right to post and what you don't have the right to post. So I find it very interesting that Twitter has chosen to selectively. Well, I find it interesting that they have agreed to deny this post instead of letting them post it. Because normally, from what I've seen in Twitter at least, you can post whatever you want for the most part. But now we're here. And I just find it very interesting the direction they're taking, Do
you know how many of those spaces I'm going to have to edit down?
I don't know.
Why do you speak like Obama?
I don't know.
Do you just not compile your thoughts together and then spit them out in one smooth sentence?
It's that I had to slowly think about it, word for word. It sounded correct.
See, I'm the guy who goes, well, I'll just go balls first into this, and then if I fuck up a word, I'll own up to the fact that I fucked up the word. I'll just power through it.
I see, and that might be more of an interesting way to talk. But when I don't know what to say sometimes...
Listen, basically all I'm saying is you're offsetting your need to not talk very fast to my need to spend 30 minutes a night editing this down.
Okay, well, I can try. I can try to speak faster, but the thing is
I'm probably just giving you shit.
Yes.
Because it's fun, and we need some entertainment in this dumb bullshit.
I'm definitely very hurt.
That is life. But regardless, Twitter's credibility from being a platform of open expression has been hitting the flack lately, because this is not the first one. This is just the latest high-profile one.
Really?
Twitter has been kind of social justice-y, and they've been taking down people's accounts that really didn't do shit. And overall, just kind of being an arbiter in areas where they really shouldn't be. Like this, you can argue that they don't need to be an arbiter in, but a lot of times, like Adam Baldwin getting kicked off Twitter for a tweet that didn't actually include anybody and wasn't directed at anybody, really doesn't need to happen.
You know what I want to say, but I'm not gonna. I want to say, what the fuck happened? How did we get here? But right now it's almost pointless to say that because it's been so. That's really late for me to say it. The internet became this so fast, and now we're here. I'm asking a little late to say that, but what the fuck happened?
Well, come back for the viewers. Come back Thursday or Friday around that time, and we can discuss that.
All right.
Because we got some topics out here referring to campuses. And that's really where this shit starts.
Yeah, but just what the fuck happened? How did the internet become so lack of rights? Like people, it's almost as if certain people control everything and some people have no power at all.
Totalitarian?
Yeah. Whoever.
Well, I mean, like the government wants control, right? That's why they gerrymander. That's why they do all their things to make sure they stay in power. And corporations want control because they want to make sure, no matter what, that they manipulate the populace to buy their product in the best way possible.
Absolutely.
Through their means of propaganda, aka PR.
I want to know what the original creators of the internet were planning. Did they expect this to happen?
I don't think anyone could expect the internet to actually be what it ended up being.
That's true.
Like, even when it was better, if you can call it that.
Better.
We'll say better. But regardless, I think this is enough talk about Twitter bullshit for this Monday. So I think that will be the end of our episode. I was the fan of one.
Dirty Sanchez. Thank you.
Extra dirty this year.
I'll always be dirty.